Hello, today we're going to analyze a game between a noob versus Kasparov. Before we begin, this is analyzing a game I saw from a chess textbook, although I do not know who the white player was and I simply guessed their ratings. This was a brilliant game that I saw. Anyway, let's begin. So, white begins with e4, and this is a common king's pawn opening, getting control of the center, and it's very common for beginners, and even those without beginners, it can be followed with e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c6, bishop to c5, g4, so there are lots of variations with e4. And now the opponent played the Sicilian, which is c5, and takes control of the d4 square. And the often line played here is knight f3 and knight c6, and now white will play d4 and put out an exchange, which was exactly done in the game, and this is everything. It is normal. Now black plays g6, which is actually the dragon opening, putting its bishop out and attacking on this line, and that's normal too. Knight to c3, protecting on this line like this way, and bishop to g7, bishop to e3. They're all book moves. Knight f6, developing a knight, f3. Okay, f3 was not so good, so we'll put this inaccuracy on here. F3, what I wanted to do was to strengthen the pawn structure here, so you can strengthen this pawn, and also prepare for putting its queen up and castling. And it also defends from this bishop, this pesky bishop, which could come at any time. But it was an inaccuracy, because moving the f-pawn meant a weakness on this way, and the stop of development of his queen on this line. Black castled, and now he played queen to d2, which was not very good, mainly because now white can play d5 or even e5, which can take catch of the center. However, Garry Kasparov did not see this and played d6, which was of course an inaccuracy. Now, white played another inaccuracy, which was castling, but now black had an advantage because he wanted to castle and put his king safe. Now he could launch attacks on the g files and the h files on black's king. Now he played knight takes d4, which was also an inaccuracy. Probably he was hoping his opponent to play queen to d4. Now he would play knight to g4, sacrificing a knight, but it's actually put an attack on the queen. So if it takes queen to takes g4, then black can actually prepare for this. Go for knight to f2, which was a possible threat. However, his opponent played bishop to d4, a great move, because now there's no threat, as you can see. Now he played bishop to e2, completely normal, king to b1. At this point, his opponent was feeling quite good about this position, and he had 1 point advantage, but actually he played some blunders and lost the game. a6 was preparing for the b5 and b4 attack on the knight. His opponent played also well, g4, preparing for g5 and h4, b5, h4, b4, attacking the knight. Now the best move would to be playing knight to d5, which is an outpost from this pawn. And actually what can take it. And even if he does after this, it can take this bishop and put it in a bad position. But actually, playing knight a4 isn't so bad, but he played knight to e2, which is passive and an inaccuracy. Queen to a5 is a great move because it develops a checkmate threat here. So actually, if he played something like that, it will be mate in 2, queen takes a2, king to c1, and checkmate. But actually, his opponent didn't so stupid like that, and he actually has b3, knight to c1, c4, and many other options. So in this game, he played b3, which was not so good, but according to Stockfish, white can still handle this position, but in real life chess, it's not that good. Rook ac8, getting control of the c file and putting his knight, putting his rook up, doubling his rook, so it's actually taking control of the king. Knight f4 was not such a good move because it is removing the knight and it doesn't have any good intentions, so it probably wants to hop on this bishop, but there's a brilliant move that now black can do, and removing the knight doesn't take out the fact that now white has taken all of its advantage. Now black can play a brilliant move which Garry Kasparov played, and it made the game equal. Can you think of it? Well, if you had the chance to think of it, the move is the brilliant bishop takes g4. And you might say, what's the point of this, moving your bishop away? Actually, what white wants to do in this position is to take your light squared bishop and take off the threat on a2. And it's doubling your pawns if you try to do this. So get rid of this bishop is one thing. The second thing is trying to kind of like say destroy the pawn structure. So after g takes is actually destroying the pawn structure and the defense on e4. So that's such a brilliant move. After pawn takes, he took on e4, not g6. g6 was not good. So he took on e4 and attacking the queen at the same time, putting a tempo on it. Queen to e3 was not such a good move because it allowed this fork, not actually a fork because it could be defended, but actually it's a check and it's not very good. So the best move would be to play queen to c1, passively defending the queen, but now he went aggressive and attacked this knight. So now he played knight to d3, still a great move. And the only good move here is to take with the bishop, because if you take your king away, you kind of like lose this knight, and if you take with the queen, well, you lose this queen too, and if you take with the bishop, then you lose this bishop. So it's very complicated. Anyway, he took with the bishop, which was the best move. Rook takes c3, and this queen couldn't take because of this pawn. And notice now that white has lost all its advantage. The only good move to play is bishop to d3, protecting the rook from the queen. Rook to c5, as black wanted, doubling his rooks and putting a threat on c1. Knight to e2, the blunder, and lost the game. He played knight to e2 because he wanted he's developing the knight. He's moving his knight so many times in this game. Like he played it from here to here, and then to here, then back. So it's actually moving the knight so many times. And this knight purpose is to kill this rook, so this rook can kind of escape. And there's only one good place for this rook to go. Well, you have probably seen the variations. The good move is rook r to c5. And why is it better? Because it still remains this balance. You've played sorry, c3, that's the problem. Wait a sec. Delete move. So it's actually trying to like go back here, and if he played rook to c6, this knight can hop up and attack it again. So rook to c5, you can notice that now white cannot attack this rook in whatever way, and it still remains a threat on c1. Now he played the blunder because now white thought that there could be queen to a3, then queen to b2 checkmate, and he also wanted to block it off. So instead of playing c3, which could lose a free pawn, he played c4, which was the second blunder, and completely lost the game. So what do you play in this position? Of course, you cannot play queen to a3, because if you played that, black can simply defend it by playing like queen to d2, for example, and you cannot have this checkmate threat. But the move is then peasant, and you kind of win this. So you can now move to c2, promote. It's actually a kind of like a fork on c2. So takes. So this is a huge threat, and now white, realizing its mistake, played bishop to c2 and trying to stop this pawn from advancing forward. Now he played rook rook to e5, and now it's attacking the queen and putting a threat on the knight. So this queen had to run, and actually the best move was to move to c1, but no, he played queen to d3, still wanting an attack on the d file. Queen to now he played the second brilliant move, rook takes e2, and it's sacrificing the rook for a knight. But why would black do this? So queen takes e2. That was the only good move, because if he didn't take, this would be a problem. So if he didn't take, he probably would go queen to a3, and now there's a threat here, and there's no quick solution to this. And you see that white has lost his knight, which could possibly take on the c3 pawn. So this brilliant move, if white just ignores this, he would play queen to a3 and the following, and it's mate in 2. So actually, if he plays something like this, it's mate in 3 actually. Queen takes c3. What? Queen takes c3. So queen takes c3, rook takes c3, or bishop takes 3c, whatever. It's still not very good. So he can't play any moves like this. So he has to take with the queen. And now queen to a3, and it's certainly mate in 1. However, there is a way to stop it. After bishop to e4, the queen is protecting the b2 square. And when you think things are over now, no they aren't. c2 check. So it's checking the king, threatening this rook, and threatening promotion. But actually, he has to take with the queen now. That's the only good move, and to be taken by the rook. So you might say that, why is black so stupid? Why does he have to take with the queen? Why can't he just take with the bishop? Because it is mate in 1. So the whole point of this rook takes c2, queen takes c2 was just to propose a threat on the b2 square. Why was it so important? And playing c2, there was another attack on this square. So now white can't do anything. So he must take with the queen and wait for the rook to take him. And now Gary Kasparov is up some material. Well, you only say he's up 1 point. Now, what's the following of the moves? Great. Okay. These theory of checkmate seem beginner-like, but they are all forced moves. The king cannot play all these moves, but can only go to d3. And after this check, the king is forced to go to e2, because his queen actually now gives a fork. Well, you may think that, and the king can only go to e2 or e2 or c2, and it is actually forced to go to e2 because actually there's no other way. And you take this, Gary Kasparov is now 4 points ahead, and his opponent resigned. Even if he didn't resign, any stupid beginner could finish off the game with ease, because there's attacks everywhere somehow. So what if you played king to c2, and you're like, great, but there's mate in 2, because after this, queen to c3 check, the king can only go to b1, and it's checkmate. So it's still going up and down, so it's still trying to check him up and down. So look at this. Check. He has to go up. Check. He has to go to e2, but if he goes to c2 and it's checkmate, checkmate. So he played to e2 and lost the bishop. So, and now his opponent resigned with negative 6.3 advantage. So this is the game, the brilliant game of the World Championships. It was such a great game. I think it's one of the best games I saw, and it's just perfect. Starting with the Sicilian, white has the advantage, then white all loses it with 2 blunders, and black wins. So that's the overall game. Hope you have enjoyed it. Next time we'll see another match, and thank you. See you next time.